So, I didn't think I'd be talking about this today, but here we are. I was just minding my business, scrolling through Twitter like usual, when I stumbled across this absolutely wild exposed thread on a Roblox user named Crafter, also goes by Craftiest. Now, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I didn't know much about this dude. I wasn't following him, never really paid attention to his posts. He'd just randomly pop up on my timeline because someone replied to him or retweeted something he said. From what little I saw, something about him always felt off, like this guy would act like he was black and claimed he was from Africa, which, spoiler alert, he's not. And then, out of nowhere, he'd just drop the N-word for absolutely no reason, like it was just part of his daily vocabulary or something. That alone was a massive red flag, because most people, especially actual black people, don't just casually throw that word around online like that. Anyway, let's get into the thread that kicked this all off. The first tweet I saw was from someone named Aisha Chungus. And that tweet, it basically opened the floodgates. Crafter was getting exposed from every direction, and the more I scrolled, the worse it got. In this screenshot right here, Crafter says, and I'm quoting, "No transphobia at all, but like most trans women are depressed and have no life." Then he follows it up with, "No transphobia BT, like most trans N-word I know are like this." You already know he's full of it when he has to say no transphobia twice in the same message. Like bro, if you have to keep saying that, chances are, you're being transphobic. And let's be honest, talking down on people for being depressed and having no life is insane coming from someone who's literally pretending to be black on Twitter when he's just some white dude in real life. Just to put it into perspective, not only is this guy racist, but he's also a transphobe. Bro's got the two worst internet personality traits possible. That's not even controversial or edgy, that's just straight up pathetic. After that, Aisha Chungus brings up one of Crafter's friends named Jaden, who's apparently also a racist and a transphobe. In the screenshots, he's saying some really awful stuff I literally had to censor because YouTube would absolutely wreck me if I showed it uncensored. And then, somehow, it gets worse. Aisha Chungus drops a video of Jaden in a voice call with Crafter. He's the one with a British accent, and you can hear Jaden straight up ask, "Why would you stream yourself off?" Crafter realizes the call is being recorded, starts laughing nervously, and tries to brush it off with a "no I didn't." Then he throws out that he can debunk it.
But like, why would you stream yourself off?
I didn't. I didn't.
Okay, I'm gonna release the truth very soon.
Okay, we're just saying, if you try to say that's me, I'm gonna be like, but this makes no sense because I never go on call with anyone. And I can get chat logs to prove over the years that I don't. I literally have over the past fucking week, I've got all the evidence. If you do release it, I have enough thing to back it up and say it's false.
Crafter, why you like this to me?
Because you can't cancel me.
Okay.
I'm just bitter.
I guess. Alright, I guess I'm gonna have to release the evidence, see what happens.
Like bro, what even is that excuse? How do you debunk that? What are you gonna do? Roll out a PowerPoint? Then there's another screenshot where Aisha Chungus aka Lee tells Crafter not to swat kids or send him. Just a casual normal conversation, right? And Crafter replies with, "Oh that was funny," and then says the hitman was cheap. Lee then asks him, "Do you think kids is funny?" And this absolute trash bag replies, "Oh yeah, like bro, you cannot be out here saying stuff like that when you look like the chud meme guy from Twitter. The internet already doesn't like you, and now you're just speedrunning, being the most hated person on it." And honestly, after reading all that, after seeing those screenshots, and listening to those clips, I'm just sitting here thinking, how does someone even get to this level of delusion? Like, how are you casually talking about swatting and hitting like it's a Discord joke? Racism, transphobia, pretending to be someone you're not, getting caught in the weirdest voice calls. It's not drama anymore, it's just disturbing. You'd think this was satire if the receipts didn't exist, but now, this is real, and it's insane. Alright, now we are moving on to the main, and honestly the most important, part of this entire video. Crafter being completely exposed for faking his race, lying about his age, and being blatantly racist. So, the original tweet by I Show Chungus just showed pictures of his face, and look, I don't think they should've done that. He's still a minor, and posting someone's face like that without blurring or censoring it puts them at real risk. Like yeah, he made some stupid messed up decisions, but that doesn't mean we should completely ruin his life over it. So instead of focusing on that, I'm gonna talk about the context thread Crafter himself posted. He starts by saying that he's logged out of all his Twitter accounts, which I assume is for mental health reasons, and only logged back in to clear up misinformation. Honestly, I can respect that move, because Twitter is a breeding ground for rumors once stuff like this starts snowballing. Then, he openly admits that he's not innocent, and says anyone defending him is weird. That's probably the only thing I can fully agree with him on here, but even then, I can't tell if he's saying it to take real responsibility or just trying to make himself look credible to soften the backlash. Either way, he's right. Don't defend this guy. He confirms that the photos in the leak are actually of him, and says he's not 12 or 13 like some people assumed. He claims he's currently 15, and the photos are from when he was 13, and had really bad teeth. Now apparently he's not chopped anymore. I don't even know what to make of that. Like, sure, people change how they look over time, but the real problem isn't your teeth, dude, it's your whole personality. And if we are being honest, I'm not fully convinced he's 15. He's lied about being 17 before, and the way he acts just doesn't match someone who's supposed to be mid-teens. Then there's the part where he addresses the beating it to lolly accusation, which it sounds like he's kind of admitting to, saying it happened when he was 13 and wasn't in the right state of mind. He claims he was in a bad circle of people at the time. Then he denies being involved in the AI stuff, and says it was other people in the group chat doing that, not him. He says he regrets ever being part of that group, and that he's now glad to have found friends like Chrome. And here's where I just sit back and think, this is exactly what being chronically online does to your brain. None of this would have happened if he had just taken a moment to vet the people he surrounded himself with. I always say, think twice before you become close with someone online. Even just becoming casual friends with someone can shift your behavior, affect your values, and impact the way you treat others, including family. People online can seriously warp your sense of what's normal if you're not careful. Now here's where things get even more wild. In one tweet, Crafter admits he created a completely fake personality when he was just 11 turning 12 years old. Like, bro, that's wild. That's not a normal thing to do. He says he felt trapped in a loop of not doing anything, and that he got too big online too fast, so he felt like he couldn't be himself and had to lie. And all I can say to that is, what kind of excuse is that? If you really felt that way, the time to come clean was before you blow up, not after. That way, at least you'd have some shred of honesty and credibility left. Instead, you stayed in this fake persona and just kept doubling down. You cold stopped using the N-word. You cold started pulling away from the fake stuff gradually. But no, you waited until everything exploded, and now you're trying to justify it like it wasn't your choice. Then he says, reminder, everyone d***ing my number and address. You're f***ing weird. I'm a minor and I mega f***ed up. And honestly, I agree with that. Doxing a kid, no matter how bad their behavior, is never okay. That's a boundary we can't cross, even if we think someone deserves to be called out. Finally, Crafter wraps up by saying, don't support me if you're normal. I'm logging out of this account, deactivating everything, getting therapy, and talking to more IRLs to become more normal. See you guys never, probably. Also no, I'm not giving this account away. I'll deactivate it, or keep it up, because it had somewhat funny posts. Like what? That last line genuinely blew my mind. You're really gonna keep this account up, because it had somewhat funny posts? Bro, no, that's not how this works. You don't get to leave this mess behind like a funny little time capsule. If you're serious about moving on, delete the account. Don't hand it off. Don't leave it sitting around. Just wipe it. Honestly, this entire mess is a perfect storm of how toxic and complicated online spaces can get, especially when young people are involved. On one hand, Crafter's behavior is undeniably problematic, pretending to be another race, using racist and transphobic language, lying about his age, and being involved in some seriously disturbing conversations. That shows a lack of empathy and responsibility that's hard to overlook. But on the other hand, he's still a kid, and while that doesn't excuse his actions, it does mean this isn't just about canceling someone forever, it's about recognizing how easily someone can get lost in their online persona, surrounded by toxic influences, and make bad decisions. It's a harsh reminder of how dangerous it is to grow up online without the right support or guidance. I also think the response has to be balanced. Dark and harassment are never acceptable, no matter what the person has done. Holding someone accountable is important, but crossing the line into personal attacks and threats only adds more harm. At the end of the day, this situation is sad more than anything else. It's a mix of reckless choices, immature behavior, and the pitfalls of internet culture colliding. Hopefully, Crafter can learn from this, get help, and turn things around. And for everyone else watching, it's a cautionary tale about online identity, influence, and the consequences of what we say and do behind a screen. Alright, that's all I've got for today's video. This is my first time trying out commentary content, so any support would really mean a lot. If you've got feedback or suggestions on how I can improve, drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear what you think. Make sure to like or dislike the video, based on how you felt about it. I'm Elson, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.